How's it going, man?
Yo.
Is that a Larry David shirt?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Where'd you get that?
I don't even know. Somewhere online, wherever I can find 4X shirts.
That's cool. That's funny. Appreciate it, man. How's everything going? Did you train? You didn't train yet, huh? You can go later.
No, yeah, I'm gonna go later.
You've been doing all that boring shit.
Well, I watched the videos. I haven't done any yet.
Yeah, like the thing with a lot of that stuff too is like it's just to get you to a position so then you can really kind of like create some change because if we don't like reorient a couple things then we can't restore that relative motion. So it's like a lot of that stuff should only have to do for like a couple weeks consistently and then you can kind of progress it to more like stuff to address the asymmetry and then some stuff in the gym too. But awesome. So cool, man. Did you watch any of the Tampa Pro at all?
Uh, I mean, but this is one of those times where it's like, which I understand the flip side too, when you like dislike someone and they do really well, and then you don't want them to win. It's the same when you have someone who's a friend. So like John, I feel like is one of my favorite people in the sport, but I didn't have him winning.
Oh, did you have
Um,
Mo?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at the show like, man, maybe I don't know shit about bodybuilding, but it's not what it is. It's what it is you can post pictures of prejudging. You can post pictures of your individual mandatories. You can post pictures of the night show, and those can be three different bodybuilders.
Hmm.
So I actually had Hutchinson
Yeah.
winning. I just thought he looked really good. I thought also part of bodybuilding is you having to beat your also best or at least match your best. And I think because we haven't seen him look better, I thought that they should have gave him at least second. Mo didn't look as good as he did before, and John definitely looked better at like the Arnold. But regardless, I'm so happy. I really was just glad that John's going to the Olympia. Um, I think that it's been a while since he's been there.
Yeah, the
I
top
don't
four
really,
was close. It was really close.
yeah,
They all could have been real right there. And then Jordan, I know he at least got some second point like placings after prejudging. It looked like after the night show he was straight thirds, but yeah, he looked really good. We'll look at some pictures in a second. I mean, the thing is like with John, right? Like he doesn't have a shot that he loses terribly at all. You know what I mean? Like he has some shots he might not win, but it's like anything that he doesn't win, it's like he's not like losing it by a mile. Whereas like I think he just really dominated that back double against Jordan. I think that that's probably what hurt Jordan the most. But we'll check it out real quick. Let's look at a couple things. Let me see if I can make this shit work. I'm always hate this shit. Okay, share. Boom. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So like if we look at the like the just the top four, as soon as you're in that standing relax, it kind of sucks for Vlad because he can really dominate some other poses, but it's hard to like come back if you're kind of like not really that appealing looking in that front relaxed, right?
hmm yeah, exactly. And I also this is also from the live stream, right?
These are pictures from NPC News Online, but I heard the stream was really good. I don't know why they do the background like that. You did Tampa Pro, right? They had the same background when you went there.
It was a little bit different, but at least it wasn't digital.
Yeah.
Um, it's anything as long as it's not digital, it's at least better.
Yeah, so and I think this may have been I think I have a little bit of a mix. I got some from prejudging. I think I got some from the night show because a couple of them, they're not always like in the shot exactly. So
Right.
yeah, I mean Jordan looked really good. He definitely got overlooked earlier this year at this show he did earlier.
hmm
Now we look at this front double. Who stands out to you here?
Mo, Mo and Justin. I just think John's legs kill his front double. John's legs kill all his front shots.
Yeah,
He
he's against some guys with some pretty big quads because normally like I feel like they don't look that great leading up to the show, but I don't notice them as much as I did in this show, like see him downsize. And I think it's because all these guys got really fucking full quads, I guess.
hmm
And then what do you think about Vlad in this shot?
Yeah, I mean Vlad's sick. Vlad is like on certain shots he looks really good. I think this is actually one of his and I guess I can't say one of the front shots. There's only two front shots. But he looks good in this one. You can see where he tore his arm. You can see
Which
the
one?
arm
The
was
right one or
yeah,
left?
uh-huh. hmm
That's crazy that he came back so quick from that.
No, it's incredible. And it just shows what kind of person he is. He's like a hard worker. Like I saw this guy out in Dubai every day and he's a beast. but he's also really young.
Yeah.
So you can recover a lot quicker when you're in your fucking 20s.
Do you think he's gonna keep doing the shows? Because we've only got the last three, right? We got Texas, Italy, and then UK. So, I mean, Andrew and Hunter, I assume, are gonna get two of those qualifications. There's one more. Do you think he'll keep going?
Uh, I don't know how long his visa's for. It's already been
Well, that would
fucking
be
well.
over like the UK or something. Maybe he'd jump into the UK.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So if he doesn't do Texas, I hope he hangs it up. I just know he won't want to end on a showing like this. I think he would have felt a little bit better. I'm sure that he felt like he got snubbed um, in Chicago, and like if that was his last show, I think he would have been able to walk away and just say like, "Oh, I didn't get the nod that I wanted." But this one, I think he knew. You could see in his face. He's on the outside the whole time. I think he knows going into the show that he didn't peak properly.
Do you think he looked better in Chicago? I can really compare.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah.
yeah, 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 big time. This is his worst pose. He's probably has one of the worst front lat spreads in bodybuilding.
I actually, I did like six different pictures, and this is the one that I picked because this was the
I
best Vlad looked, and like I
I
didn't want to look
figured,
like I was making him look bad. This was the by far the best looking shot he has. Because I mean, John doesn't have a fantastic front lat either. I mean, Jordan probably wins this one for me. What do you think?
yeah, 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 for sure. It's only just because Mo in this picture isn't hitting it fully. Because when Mo hits it fully and correctly, he probably has the best front lat spread in this show.
Yeah, it looked really good. I don't know if he was just a little watery or compared to last show or what. You said you thought he was a little bit harder last show, or what'd you think?
No, Vlad was way harder.
Or, I mean, what about
Yeah,
Mo?
yeah, yeah. Mo was too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Mo was definitely drier.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's not the best shot for John. I mean, they all got great side chests, and that's the thing about a being like an unesthetic guy from the front. Like you can really doesn't matter at all in these side shots, and Vlad looks fucking good on both these side shots. I mean, this is close. John looks really good. His pecs look really good in this shot. What do you think? Who would you give this one to?
Um, yeah, I'll give it to John. I'll give the side shots to John. Vlad in Chicago, I feel like he was really killing everybody. That side glute hamstring is really,
Yeah.
really good. It's probably one of his best body parts.
Yeah, a lot of times these kind of guys that have that like that unesthetic look, they got just couple just fucking wow poses that they don't quite make up for the lack of the aesthetics on like the front poses, but it's kind of interesting because usually they have the best side poses. You see like Nick, like Rubiel, those kind of guys.
Hmm.
Uh, and Mo's always crooked on this. I think he's got some issues I could help fix. Every back double, I thought it was like just one. I thought it was just one thing that he did, but I've never seen a back double where he's not really compressed on that one side. So I mean, you give this to John. I mean, Vlad looks fucking huge, but John's got such detail in there.
No, yeah, yeah. John killed the back poses
And I mean, this is
for
where
sure.
I just think Jordan lost it here in the details. Like lower body looks good, but I mean, for me, like it's hard if you get last out of the top four in a pose, like especially like definitely last to win. Yeah, and Lamel looks like he could use a little bit of like this. He's missing a spot right here, just some thickness and erectors and low lats.
I know
But
you
yeah,
probably
John.
because I know you watch like me training and you know my like injuries and stuff. I'm sure it kills you when you watch things like this and you're just like, just fix it, bro.
And it doesn't always matter, you know what I mean? But like if he's gonna like split a place with somebody, they'll look at this and be like, oh, that little asymmetry, they'll knock it down. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, man,
But yeah, John's nuts.
yeah, he was the only one that compared to like Hottie from the back shots at the Arnold. And I mean, this is where Mo really suffers, right? This is a bad shot for him.
Hmm.
I mean, Vlad's got a pretty good one. Who would you give this guy to?
Yeah, I would give it to Vlad or Justin, actually.
Yeah, yeah, his man, he's pretty peeled. They're both everyone's
I
pretty in
just
shape.
I just would have put Justin in second, you know. I
Yeah,
just feel like that's the only thing that I really probably would have switched. I think John should, he could stay first. There's nothing really like no one's really gonna argue with that. But Mo, just what was Chicago a week ago?
yeah,
Yeah, just a week ago was like night and day different. Usually, the way the shows go is they usually tell you that with your placing.
yeah. And I'm surprised because he's with Stefan, right? I haven't seen one of his guys have like a big drop off from one show to the next yet.
But this is what I was talking about in the beginning too, is that bodybuilding is bodybuilding is you're prejudging by yourself, prejudging with your comparisons. The night show and the night show comparisons. So I know Justin definitely was fading. I know at night he wasn't as good, and those points matter. So we can look at one set of side tricep or one whatever pose, and it might have looked way better at another time. So it's just one of those things where it's hard for people that don't go to shows not to understand that this is how the shows are judged. And when you're there, it's way easier for you to see yourself, even if you're watching prejudging at home and then you're watching the night show at home. It's way different in person because it's so noticeable when someone's better or worse. And then when they're switched, which is what I think they did with Mo at night at the end, they switched them back to second. I think it was just something that you kind of had to have been there to really see why they did that. But yeah, I would give John this pose. I mean, Justin looks really good. I mean, really Mo looks the best. He just doesn't look as good as he did in Chicago, but he has the best shape.
Yeah, he just, yeah, exactly. If these were dialed in a little bit, I think you get it.
Hmm.
And I think this is from the morning one too. I couldn't find when they were all in, and I do think Justin's a little sharper here.
Hmm.
But then we got the ab and thighs, and I mean, what do you think on this? None of them have fantastic ab and thighs. I guess probably
No,
Justin.
yeah, I'd give it to Justin for sure.
He's got, I mean, John's got the little it doesn't like protrude out, but he's got the Ninja Turtle kind of almost like how Dexter started getting towards the end a little bit, where it's like, it's not like a bubble gun or anything, but it's like a hard turtle shell almost.
Yeah, they were talking about it a lot.
Oh yeah, on the
John's stomach.
stream.
Yeah, no, just on the boards.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
But it's
mean,
just because it's different for him. If this was like Vlad or someone who usually has kind of like a little bit of a wider waist or something, then it would have been like, oh, it's not that bad. But because he's, an aesthetically pleasing guy and he's a little bit smaller, I think it's going to be a lot more evident.
his legs don't look bad in this shot the way he's presenting them. Not as bad as the other one and the other
No,
shots.
and really his left leg is fine. It's just his right leg is a
Yeah.
little bit smaller. So on the like front lat spread and front double, it's just more noticeable. But yeah, it's by no means bad legs.
And then I did two most musculars because I couldn't get one with Mo in one, and he's in it here. And yeah, he's full of shit. But yeah, he's not that dry at all. And then in this one, he's not really in it, but everyone else kind of is. And John, man, he looks pretty good in that crab. Who would you give the most muscular to?
Um, yeah, because this isn't even the most muscular that he does. He does the one hand
Yeah, he did that one hand.
that he if you look at his Instagram that he posted, that's also how you can see the difference in like live stream, is seeing the pictures from like the actual show photographer, which usually takes about a day to get. That's why John's posting it now. He looks insane. That's
Yeah,
like an insane front double, or most muscular.
the hand on the
Uh,
hip.
yeah, with the one
Yeah,
hand on the hip.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But actually I would give it to Justin, man. His
Yeah,
legs are just his
it's
legs are
great.
nuts.
Yeah,
His front shots are really good.
his
I'm a
delts.
big
Yeah,
fan of legs, so
yeah,
it always just shoots out to me. And Mo has good legs. So look at how smaller his legs look compared to
yeah.
Justin's. That's how good Justin's legs are. It's not that Mo's are bad.
I mean, I don't know. Do you think there's something up with Vlad's shoulders? Like, they look a little, I don't know. Maybe there's oversized, but I don't see like the detail and stuff in there.
Yeah, he's not he's not a synthol guy, and he's definitely for majority of his career had shoulders that were almost too big. So I don't think it's anything like funky going on in there. But yeah, you're right. Like you should be able to see some kind of lines, especially on the side tricep. Usually you
Yeah.
could see them in his.
Yeah, sometimes it gets super gnarly. So overall, you think, you're okay with John. I could have, like I said, the top three was really close. I think if Mo came in dice, like we were talking about when I was at your place, I originally had Mo winning, and then I just saw John leading in, just looking so shredded in that back double, and I ended up putting him in ahead of him. But we'll go through real quick the next four, just because it was a pretty. The top eight were all pretty dice in pretty good shape. Eric Wood ended up in ninth, who was not in the best condition, but I think he could have been in the second call out for sure if he was in really good condition. This guy right here, I didn't know him until this season. This what the fuck is his name? Saharn. I don't know why he's got the same name, first and
Mhm.
last name. That's lazy. But yeah, this guy looks amazing from the front. And then what is the guy's name that got fifth? Lewis Breed.
Lewis Breed. Yeah, I was even gonna say, man, shout out to Lewis Breed because this is the best that he's looked. This isn't a good pose for him. When he crunches down on his abs, he actually has a pretty good waistline. It's not, he doesn't have a small waist by any means, but when he does like vacuum where he pulls it in, it
It's
kills
tight.
it kills his shape. But this is a guy who's been going at it for a long time in the background.
Yeah.
Trained by JP guy, and
Oh,
he's just like a really good dude. And I thought he looked really good. I thought they should have. I think they did give him right.
he got fifth.
Fifth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I,
Hmm.
I thought he looked good. I thought he was a hair. I think he looked bigger, but I thought he was a hair more shredded last time I seen him. He was in good shape this time, but I felt like last time I saw him on stage, he had that nasty, nasty conditioning that was like striations everywhere. So I mean, he was
Hmm.
still one of the more conditioned guys. I mean, this guy from the front is first call out worthy, right? This Sahar guy. Yeah, that's a really good front double. What do you think happened with Tim? Did he like did he get tired or did he just go against better competition this time? You think his body's gonna look worn out?
I don't know because you can cover the rest of the guys. You can see Tim is the worst he's been all year.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
but
that's a lot of
it's not like
shows.
but it's this guy is nonstop working. Every time he posts, he's in some other state, posing with someone else. He's doing work, training with someone else. Like he's been all over the world. So it's not an effort thing. I think it's just a body being burned out type of
Yeah.
thing. Like, look, I think we talked about when you were here at my place is it doesn't matter who you are, genetics wise, and how committed you are, but diuretics only work for so long.
Mhm.
You can only pull water out so hard before you have to start taking more or start doing more drastic things with sodium. And I think here he probably knew a day or two out before that he wasn't really where he should be, and then they started probably trying to dry him out with maybe raising the carbs up, and I think that's why he kind of uh, his stomach is not small by any means, but it definitely was a lot bigger at this show,
Yeah.
or maybe it was less control.
Did you know this guy on the right? I wasn't familiar with him. I think he's one of Ben
Mm-mm.
Chow's guys. He was pretty diced. He's got some good shape too. A little more size is a little good. But so yeah, I mean, you're Sahar wins this shot, obviously, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he wins it from the first call out too, actually.
Yeah, probably. And then the front
Yeah.
lat, probably him as well. It's almost like a little bit like smaller, not as detailed Andrew looking, right? Like with the pecs and the abs. If the pecs were a little more striated, it'd be like it look similar to Andrew Jack. I mean, Lewis, I tried to find I did find one or two better ones, but not much better. I don't think the front lat's his strongest pose on this one for sure.
You can look up this guy. He's a 212 guy. He's in Dubai too. Ralph Farah. It's actually exactly who this guy looks like. They're like twins. You can look it up after the show so you can
Who,
see what I'm talking
Lewis?
about. No, no, no. The other guy with the
Sahar?
two first names. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even when he first came out, it like took me a second. I was like, holy shit, is that my friend? Is that my friend Ralph from Dubai? But I know he's not that big. So I was like, wait a minute. But they're identical twins. He did the New York last year in the 212. But yeah, that's who that guy looks like.
I felt like I'd seen him before. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think I got
Mhm.
lost wrong him too. Do you give him the front lat as well?
Yeah, just because Tim and his waist is a little blown out. Otherwise, Tim is killing him in this front.
Yeah, he's just so big. He's so big. And then now Lewis looks
Mhm.
pretty good on these side shots. I'd probably give that to Lewis. What about you?
Yeah, because this guy is lagging in the chest. He kind of looks
Yeah.
like a chest like mine. It's like where it's not really like full.
Yeah, it didn't really look like that in the front shots, but on the side it does look really, really lagging.
Hmm. Yeah, and Tim's glute and hams from the side is really good too.
Yeah, like they said, he was definitely, and he had some crazy showings this year. He had a couple of showings where he just looked like a freak of freaks. And then, yeah, you can tell because his back double is like a weak pose, but it actually looked a lot better than this in the last couple of shows. So I don't think any of
Hmm.
these guys have a fantastic back double. I mean, this guy at the edge he looks pretty good. He's a little slight, but I mean, he's shredded. What do you think about this one? This is close, huh?
No, yeah, I still give it to the Middle Eastern guy.
Yeah, you do?
Just on condition,
Ah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's not muscle. It's no matter what, he's the most. Look at the glutes. The glutes alone, he's beating everybody.
he's
Then the
nice. I mean,
hamstrings,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, I think him and this guy are pretty similar condition, but he's got a better shape and looks a little thicker too.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's the best shot of Lewis. Maybe he looks better when if he's in it all the way. And I was
Yeah.
surprised that his back lat looked so bad. I kept looking for different ones. He didn't look conditioned, even though he's conditioned as shit. He might just have like a pocket of water or something right there.
Well, yeah, I did this lat spread to what's his name on the outside? Chow's
This
guy?
guy, I don't
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
Felix or something. I gotta look that up. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he's diced. Yeah, those are pretty deep.
Yeah.
I think Lewis is the kind of guy that when he really flexes on his shit, like it really comes out too. So you got to catch him like
Hmm.
in that moment. Like he probably wins this side try, right? That's what you're talking about with the
Yeah.
weights.
When he crunches down on the abs, it looks like a different person for sure.
Yeah. He really does look
Yeah.
like what's his name? Like Vern Troyer. Like what was the Ian was saying that on the podcast. I had honestly thought that before too. I thought that was hilarious that he said that. I thought the same exact thing in the face.
Fucking Ian.
I love how Sahar's like all blue steel right here too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's so funny.
And then the ab and thighs, this guy's so dry. I mean, he reminds me of like a better Lucas Ocelot, whatever the fuck his name was in that
Oh,
shot.
Osweiler. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Who would you
But they
give
do
this one to? Yeah.
have, God, it's just this is actually a really bad transition. Tim's still in transitioning in the pose. Tim, I don't know if he's blowing his air out, and then the Middle Eastern guy's leg is like non-existent.
I had one
Oh,
of Tim and a little better one, but then Lewis was out of it, so I decided to go
right.
with Lewis.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're a good guy. I hate when people do that when somebody is just like way off. And it's just like this is the best picture you could have found for these guys. But I would give it to Chow's guy in this apps
Yeah, me
pose.
too. I don't know if he did it from the front. I didn't see it from the front. He must have transitioned, but I don't know. Like I don't feel like you do this side unless you're like wider waist, right? Like if you get like narrow,
Yeah,
just stay front on and show that off.
yeah, his waist is small. He definitely did a double hand. It's only the big guys with big guts that do the side.
Yeah, that's like a Bonic pose. He always tries to do that. And
Right.
then yeah, I mean shit. I mean Lewis isn't fully flexed here, but I think he probably would win the most muscular. Or I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
well, yeah, it's tough because you don't have a picture of him crunching it. But when I did see him, the first picture I did see was most muscular, and that's when I
Yeah,
was like, holy shit.
yeah.
So I
Yeah, I would
know
give it
he's
to him.
winning. Yeah, I know he's winning this pose without him even being in it.
Yeah, I mean, and Tim's so thick, he might even get second. I don't know. I mean, this is where this guy really he kind of loses on the front and the size on the upper body. But man, I love the details on this guy. This guy's got a cool physique. He could be pretty dangerous soon.
Yeah, I wonder. You know what country he's from?
No, I don't. And obviously, it's one
Mm,
of the Middle East ones. Hopefully, it's not Iran, so he can travel. And I guess he's here, so
uh,
yeah, it must not be Iran.
right,
Um,
right, right, right.
did you see any of the footage from Hunter, his guest posing?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, we'll check that out real quick. We'll watch some of him. So
Hmm.
looks like they're really lining him up really good. Because I mean, for 5 weeks out, this might not be super diced, but he's obviously gonna win that. He's gonna be right in like lined up for the Olympia, like really good.
I mean, besides Rubio, who the hell is doing it? It's like
Like I said,
it's
maybe
like
someone from one of these shows that'll keep rolling, but yeah, I don't think anyone's going in there to win besides Rubio. And I don't, Rubio's not gonna win. He's I don't have much faith in him.
mm-mm.
Yeah, is it? I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? That his dad was 185 pounds, taking second in the Olympia.
Yeah, I think
So
he weighed the amount Lee did when he won his pro card.
Hunter weighed as much as Lee did when he won. He weighed
Yeah.
more. Hunter was already a super heavy when he won.
Yeah. Well, how much did you say weighed?
Lee competed at fucking like 185 to 190.
God.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, he was on
So
stage
then
with Dorian getting fourth
so
place, I
then
think.
so then it was his first show. There's some
Yeah,
statistic
yeah,
that I
okay, probably
remember.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Yeah, yeah, they have very, very different physiques. So I'm going to pull up the qualified list just real fast. Okay, so all right. So if we look at the qualified guys, it's actually not a crazy list. We have a lot of people sitting out and a couple people winning multiple shows. There's not a lot of European guys either. Like normally, you just got Theo,
Who's
but you
the
don't. You remember Theo?
what is
He won like the very first qualifier of last year. He's the big French guy.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
He
yeah, yeah.
always competes with all the Europeans. So we've got no Presti. Obviously, we
Mhm.
don't have Crizzo. I don't see James Roman. So it's like there's not a lot of the European guys on the in this year, but I don't know if you agree, but I kind of see like the top five pretty solid, Nick, Samson, Hottie, Derek, and Andrew. Obviously, I think Andrew's going to qualify. I think Hunter's probably that next one in line to make that first call out, but who do you see possibly giving Hunter like a run for his money, trying to make that first call out instead of him? Or I mean, maybe you think Hunter's a lock, maybe you think someone else is behind him. But I mean, if you think I think like Rafa, Martin, and if Beirut could be there, those are the three I would see kind of in that same kind of category. What about you?
Yeah, for sure. Because you mean besides Martin, right?
As I said, Martin, I'd love to see Martin and Hunter next to each other. I think that would be really good.
Yeah, for sure. Me too. Um, yeah, I think Raphael, because he's a little bit taller, the Raphael and the Arnold will beat both of them. I think he'll only lose to Andrew at the Olympia. I think it'll be Derek, Hottie. I'm sorry, I think it's gonna be Hottie, Derek, uh, Samson, and then I think Andrew's gonna finally come through looking retarded. And then it's gonna be a toss up with Raphael and Martin for the top five spot.
What
Oh,
about
and
Nick?
Nick. Oh God, I forget that he's doing it this year. I'm like remembering me sitting in the stands last year watching the Olympia, and I'm like counting everybody, thinking, but no, yeah, fuck Nick. So Nick, I think Samson's gonna beat Nick. Um, but I think, man, I don't know. I just I feel like Martin with a little bit more time, like he did Detroit and then right away into New York. What's he gonna look like just having to peek into one show where now he's got this time where he's in such a good mood, his good headspace, his life is happy. You're gonna gain a lot of weight when your life is going that good. So I think it's just gonna be Andrew, Nick, Raphael, and Martin that are all gonna be right there. Oh, but then there's Brandon Curry because every time we do this every year, when we're like, oh, it's everybody but Brandon, then Brandon's right in there in the top five. So
I mean, even his old coach was selling him out this year, though. Seems like this might be the year where it kind of. I mean, it's got
yeah,
to happen at some point. But you heard how his coach was like, fucking didn't even do anything. Came in looking smaller than Chris Cormier. He didn't want to work with him.
yeah, I stopped watching all those old guys shows, but I want to watch that one where
Yeah,
because I've lived with Cormier and he's told me about the stories of being out there and the jealousy and how they treated him. So I love to see that he finally was calling him out because if Abdullah can talk a lot of shit when he's living in another country and he doesn't have to really be face to face with people that he's talking about. So I do want to watch that Dennis
it
James
was funny.
show. Oh, you did watch it? Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So
but
I think
remember,
maybe this year he'll drop, maybe, but you never
but
know.
but he was sick. He got
Yeah.
his going to the hospital. So you're telling me that that's how much of a difference Abdullah makes and a guy who's been competing
Well,
since
the thing was,
before.
he's Abdullah said he didn't want to take him because he wasn't doing shit. Like he wasn't like he was losing all of his muscle, wasn't training. He wanted to start like
Well,
a lot ahead of time.
let me tell you the behind them because that's fucking bullshit. Because I saw Abdullah at the Arnold when Brandon won, and the first thing he said to me was about how when he saw him, when it was time to get on the Arnold, and he said Brandon wasn't even working out. He said he wasn't going to the gym. He's like at the Arnold with the trophy, like they fucking won. And he's like, this guy wasn't training. He didn't go to the gym. He was just spending time with his family. And I told him, I said, that's probably why he did good because he finally took a break, let his cortisol levels go back to normal, and he was actually happy with his family. I mean, it was that Arnold was a close one.
That the one that
It was
Bonnick got second?
yeah.
That Bonnick looked
So
good.
yeah. So I what my he won, so it doesn't matter in the end. No one's going to remember second. But the point is it's the exact verbatim conversation that he was having, and this guy won. So could Bonock have won? You can argue about that all day, probably, but he still looked fucking good. Like it's not like Brandon looked like shit, and then So take that Brandon who wasn't working out, he wasn't really that motivated, and he's going to be that much worse at the Olympia without this coach who wasn't even coaching people when Brandon was first competing as a pro. Like people forget that Abdullah's only been in the sport for a little bit of time. It's not been that long.
Yeah, it'd be good to
So
get Brandon's perspective too, because I like Abdullah, but he's a fast talker. Sometimes he seems a little full of shit. So it'd be
yeah,
cool to get another perspective from him. I didn't realize
yeah.
Samson had already left out there. He was out there for like a couple of weeks and said fuck it, and then went back home.
Yeah, I meant to ask you that when you were here. Like, I just don't watch anyone's YouTube, and that's really how you find out the answers. But he had to have said something about it on his YouTube because it was all this, oh my God, he's going to oxygen. And then I swear to God, he was there like 3 days. Like, that's as much as I saw. And then now he's back home. So what was that? Just kind of like for publicity or?
Yeah, no, I don't know. He was on FOADs and he just said he just was out there and he just started hating bodybuilding. And he said it's just too restrictive and like there was like he didn't like the isolation, you know. So, I mean,
That's
that's
what
what Regan.
everybody says.
Yeah, Regan. I
Yeah.
can't believe Regan ever tried to go there, right? Out of all the people in the world, Regan.
Well, Regan's was a little tough too because remember he was also engaged and
Yeah, that's what I'm
trying to get
saying. I'm
married.
surprised he ever tried that.
But his wasn't. I don't think Regan has a problem with like being locked down and training like that. I don't think he's that kind of guy. It was just that he was having to choose between his girl and the career. And he remember he was also on that bodybuilding is unhealthy and I need to go to classic. So obviously in his own personal world, he was all over the place. But I think if he went there now, he could go there and train, eat, and sleep, no problem. It was just that they were kicking his girl out, and then she was getting mad at him, and then she was putting him in a position where he has to choose. But if you when I did New York, I asked Akeem the same thing. I was like, oh, how was Kuwait? And he was like, oh, it sucks. He's like, I couldn't do anything except eat, sleep, and train. He's like, I played my PlayStation. And I was thinking in the back of my head, like, oh my God, that's my dream. That's all I want to do. So, but you're right, they all say the same thing, except for Nathan and Brandon. That's
Would
all.
you
Otherwise, every
go if you were single?
um I mean, my opinion on the Middle East is a little bit different now.
Especially now.
Being out there, and it would be really tough. It would be like going and staying in the Middle East, Vegas, and then leaving that because I don't like that to go stay in the Middle East of like Arkansas. Like it's only worse than Dubai. So the only thing is I've never trained at an oxygen gym. They're just building the one in Dubai, and I never went to the one in Abu Dhabi. So I don't know. I'm also like a really big kid when it comes to like new machines and toys for bodybuilders that I think I could probably get lost in the amount of machines and the plethora of recovery things that they have in there that I probably could do a month or two without even realizing that I'm there. But the reason I didn't go because I was supposed to go before I did New York, and Cormier was like, "Come out here," and he even got mad at me that I didn't go. And this is what I told him that it was my first pro show. I already only got my pro card because of my father. I only have everything because of my father. And now for my first pro show, I'm gonna go out to fucking Kuwait. If I win, then it's only going to be because of fucking Bader and all of them. And then I did win without going out there. So I'm so glad I didn't go. But that was just kind of me young trying to prove stuff to myself and the world that I didn't go for stupid reasons. I mean, I won, so it didn't matter. But now I'm an adult enough to understand that no matter what, you're saving thousands and thousands of dollars to go out there, especially if they're taking care of you. So and like I told you before, I never took real GH until I went to Dubai. I never realized I was just taking fucking probably just backwater my whole life.
Right. Uh,
That is also really good. When you know definitively everything that you're taking is real and it's good and you're getting it from the pharmacy, I don't know, it does something. One, you can take less. I took the least amount of gear I took when I was in Dubai because you're taking the regular amount you do in the States and you're like, holy shit, this is too much.
do you feel a difference in the growth now? You feel like?
Yeah. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm back. I'm back. I'm back to peptide,
Back to
peptide
backwater.
GH.
It's like
Yeah.
I know it's like we were talking about before. It's like there's I mean you can't really tell. I mean the test, you can do a serum test. I'm like trying to see if my nails feel thicker and shit. I'm like okay, maybe this is good. I don't know CTS.
hmm Right.
uh,
Yeah. The only thing we do in the States is we ask somebody else what they're using, and then you just go off of trust. When realistically, that person can also not know. They're just fucking doing the same thing that they trusted somebody else. So who knows?
do you know anybody doing the Texas Pro at all besides Andrew, obviously?
Yeah, that's what they just posted him. AJ posted him, and I was even gonna message him. Who the hell else is doing it? Because Texas is a big show. Like it's just really, it's right there. It's so
It's a good
localized
show.
for.
I
Yeah,
went to it and it was really, really well done. I saw it with the
yeah,
Ian and Kuklo and Klahar, who just retired, battled it out, and it was great, man. They looked really good on stage. It was a really good production.
yeah. The promoter of that show and everyone behind it is only making it bigger and better every single year. Yeah, I don't even know. I have no idea who else is doing it. I think it's one of those things where when you know certain people are doing it, they might have they might have going been doing it, and then they changed their mind when they knew Andrew was doing it. It's just how it is.
Well, this is where like a second tier guy should really jump into so he can get a look next to Andrew. Unless that's probably the thing, right? They're like, fuck, I don't want to get a look next to Andrew.
Yeah, right, exactly. Because yeah, you could be like, man, you know what? I'm not that bad. And then you stand next to Andrew, and then the judges are like, you need to work on this and this and this and this. When realistically you don't, you just look at like insane next to Andrew.
Do you talk to Stanimal out there?
Yeah, I'm gonna go see him Tuesday. Um, because I know he's pretty uh bothered, by all the placings that he did. Because I know going into the show he was doing the best he ever had. Um, but I know that he's got a lot going on in his like personal life. So when he does leave for shows, it's a big sacrifice. So I just know that he's smart. He knows that this is a business, and exactly what is he going to do? Go into Texas and then still not get an Olympia qualification? So he's going to leave his family, and he's got a house full of kids. Like he's going to go get second. He's not going to do that. So then is he going to go all the way out to the UK and travel? I don't think so. So I'm going to ask him Tuesday. I just didn't want to like. I know he's got a ton of people like,
Yeah.
oh, because like both texts suck after you lose. The ones that are trying to make you feel better, the ones that make you feel better suck, or the ones that are bullshitting you, telling you, oh, you got robbed. Those are
Right.
even almost just as worse because it's like, shut up, you don't even know anything about the sport. So I just didn't even want to give him any 2 cents. I just figured I would just talk to him, but yeah, I'll let you know what he says, but he's just in shape and he's still posting pictures, still doing his mandatories. So it's like, why not hop in Romania?
Yeah. I like Stan a lot. He's a good guy. He's smart. He's with P Tour. Is it Patrick
Yeah, Patrick.
now?
I want him to win a pro show. So we finally will have someone who won a show in all the
Yeah.
ranks,
He went to
because we
Olympia
have.
and all of them, right? Or he went to Olympia physique too, right?
Oh, I don't know if he went for physique.
I think he did. I
Oh,
know he and obviously a different class. I think he went for physique. I know he won a physique show, and I think he went. So I think he'll be.
yeah. I guess that makes sense if he won, because I know he won. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really cool because that's like certain things in the sport I don't think we're ever going to see
Mhm.
happen. And it also makes when people are like, "Oh, I don't want to do this because I don't want to look like that." When it's like obviously his waist got a little bit bigger since like classic, but he's still the same guy.
Well, it's
So it
funny.
just kind.
I was making fun of him because it is like he was a pretty boy in physique, right? And then it's like as he slowly graduated to classic, it got a little rougher. And then now that he's like the shaved head, like a bodybuilder, open class, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
the beard. Yeah, 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 exactly. He's turning into a Vern Troyer himself.
That's funny. Awesome. Well, man, I appreciate it. I just wanted to cover some of this shit real quick. We only got a couple more shows in the season, and then the O. You're gonna be working the O?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for sure.
You're gonna be working, or
Um,
you're gonna be just watching it?
I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure out if any of the sponsors are gonna come. I want them to come. I like working the booths. I don't mind them. If I'm not dieting, I love doing them. It's a really way for people to, because I think there's a lot of people that don't know me too, and I think maybe the perception of me online and in person is different. So I love working expos, and also too, I've realized the majority thing that I get, even from pros, is that people think that I look differently. I think height wise and just like who I am. I just think it doesn't come off on social media. So not only for fans and for haters, but also for like sponsors. I think I got two sponsors just because I did FIBO, just because they saw how I was working the booth and whatever I was doing for the fans. People wanted to come sponsor me. So I love working them. And it also always brings me back to when I was waiting in line for hours and would be the guy who's trying to collect protein packets and samples and stuff like that. So it's just different when you start like that, which majority of us do. You can never really hate doing that, especially when you have people that are acting the way you did when you met people. The only time it's rough is just when you're dieting.
Yeah.
And then it's just no matter what, you're living is hard.
Yeah, I'll always remember Flex, like just Flex Lewis just staying like so late, like at the Olympia where he's competing, he's just staying with after like till the lines close down everywhere. So he's a real good example of that for sure. Um,
Mhm.
have you thought about, are you gonna go out to see JP's in James's gym at all? That'd be sick. Do some
Yeah, I
content
was
out there or
talking. I
something.
was. Yeah, I talked to James and JP about how I want to go out there. I was telling them to do some kind of like train by JP event, and then I could come out there for that. But the only time I went to the UK was when I was sponsored by Labrada. Me and Hunter went out to Body Power Expo. So that's the only time I've even been to the UK. So and that was God. Labrada was I was an amateur.
Yeah.
So I would love to go back now. Also, I feel like I'm a little bit more of an adult. I think I'd be able to really appreciate even just England itself. But I didn't know James then. I had no idea who JP was. I had no idea about any of that kind of training. So especially me, I love being a sponge. I love training with everyone. So he would be the Meadows of that part of the world. And to not have trained with JP, especially being sponsored by him, and he's just such a supportive person. Like the messages he leaves me, like the voice messages, sometimes are like I can't even tell you. It gives me like goosebumps. And he's just like a really great person. He's not even like blowing smoke up my ass or because I really hate those messages where people are trying to tell me how good I am. I don't want messages like that. He's more talking about kind of like being happy and enjoying things and bettering yourself, even if it's in training or in just in life. So he's very similar to Dorian. They have a lot of
Yeah.
similarities. So for me not to have even spent time with this guy in person, I want to go for that alone. So I'm gonna try and get him to do something like that, especially if this show's right there. That's a perfect time to do it. People are flying in for the show.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Me and you need to go to a show.
Yeah. Yeah. I got my show and after and on my birthday, August 29th. After that, I'm down for whatever. Just gotta arrange it with the baby mamas.
Well, yeah, you should maybe come out for the Olympia.
Yeah, I would like to, but last year was on my fucking son's birthday. It fucked me so bad. I don't think it is
No
this
way.
year. Yeah, it was on his actual birthday. It was
Yeah, no, it's in October now, so it's like a
yeah.
month earlier. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, yeah, I definitely plan on trying to come out there. Oh, I also one thing I was talking to my PT group, and I know you're in the you got a pool. One of the things that sounds silly that everyone keeps recommending for me to tell you is to just spend time in that pool and just fucking practice those breaths because you're not fighting gravity actually, so
Uh,
it's gonna really help start getting some expansion. And like I said, I know this shit sucks, but if you are consistent with like 2 weeks, we can like you see the thing I sent you earlier today, the kind of the rolling arm bar, like that's kind of shit that'll really make bigger changes, but I got to get you in a position to do stuff like that. So I'm gonna try to link you up
the
with Zach. I was talking to him because I'd like for someone like to see if you're progressing so they can give you the next level of stuff. So I'll let you know whenever I hear back from him because that's the guy I sent you the thing from today because he's really good.
yeah, you know what's the hardest part is the breathing. Is like I feel like I'm suffocating. Like not inhaling and not letting my rib cage expand. It's actually making me realize there's a lot of similar things that I'm going through when I'm on stage. Because when you're in the gym and you're huffing and puffing after a set, you're not thinking about all these people that are looking at you. And when you're on stage, you really try and hold that in. And when I'm on stage, I constantly feel like I'm never catching my breath. And so that means I probably had this problem going on for a long time. And the shoulder issue is only now bringing uh, kind of like attention to it because when you having me do that and like if you put your hand on my rib cage and do it, it's a lot easier. I can do it.
Yeah,
But as soon
yeah,
as you take your hand off and I'm trying to now breathe in without letting it expand, it's exactly how I feel on stage. Where
yeah.
I almost just want to like turn and let my gut out and like
Exactly,
and then I
exactly.
can do it. So it's but my point is this is making me realize this is a way bigger problem
Yeah, like I
than
said, I'm working on something pretty big to shoot you. It'll be like kind of like a video file and some stuff too. So it'll have some progressions, but maybe we can just video and see. I'll have you do a couple tests on your own. But I'd really like to link you up with Zach because you're doing all the soft tissue. That's good. Make sure you're not like a pussy. I know you're not the. I know you don't like it deep, but make sure you let them fucking get in there. Like
Oh
really
no,
break
yeah,
this.
they kill me. I ask for it harder every time.
And
Yeah.
you gotta be able to chill. I know it's hard to chill, but the same breathing things that'll help during that too. Like, 'cause if we're all tense when they're fucking working on us, it's hard to get in. But
Yeah, I never even thought about that one time. That's a perfect time to be
yeah,
doing it. You're right.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. It's also kind of like mental, it's like a form of meditation almost. Well,
Hmm.
appreciate it, man. What are you gonna train tonight?
I'm doing chest, so I'm gonna see how the shoulder feels. I did back yesterday; it felt good. I'm realizing that it's actually the training. So when I went to go get my car to Arizona, I didn't train. I did legs, so I didn't use it. And then we left to Arizona, and then we drove back. And then I was so dead from the drive, I took the day off. So it was 3 days off in a row that I probably haven't done in a long time. And my shoulder was like, ugh, it was like brand new. And then I trained yesterday, and now I woke up today, and it's like back to what it was. So whatever I'm doing is causing inflammation from the training. So that I'm gonna have to try and figure out because what's happening is I'm training and I don't feel pain.
Yeah, that's
So then
that's why I
I'm
wanted to get in the gym with you. Next time I'm there, like maybe we can get into the gym together.
Yeah,
Because
let's
that,
do that. I think that'll help me more than doing the exercises. Or we
yeah,
can do both. But if I had to choose, yeah, I'd rather you go to the gym with me because like yesterday I was even like, oh, that doesn't hurt. I go more. That doesn't hurt. I'm gonna go more. I should have just stopped going more just because it's not hurting. So and now I'm paying for it this morning.
you going to torture where you do chest?
Um
Athletic club, close.
yeah, I might go to Dragons
Yeah,
or Torture. Yeah, Torture just has that incline that is just so whatever
I
reason
love
it
it.
doesn't hurt my shoulder. Yeah, I use it
Yeah,
in Dubai too. It was my favorite one at the gym in Dubai. But yeah, I'm gonna go for sure. I just love being able to have so many gyms to just
I
train.
know.
It's really like being spoiled.
Yeah, Vegas is the spot. I'm excited to go to Pure next month. You ever been to Pure?
No, and I just went to go see this specialist for my shoulder, and it was at what's the name of the gym? But he's the guy who used to own the City Athletic Club. Do you remember
Oh
that
yeah,
was like the gym here in
yeah.
Vegas that everybody would go to? Well, I guess he closed that down and he opened up his own gym. But it's like a very super exclusive, like it almost looked like a nightclub. This
Oh
place
yeah.
was so
Is it
yeah,
the
it was so
Kilo
crazy.
Club?
Kilo, yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
Kilo
Yeah,
Club.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty
I felt
cool.
like I was like I didn't belong there. Like I was just like, am I like too big for this place?
It looks
It was
cool.
like
Cool looking vibes. I've never been in there,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. And he's got those dumbbells that go over the hand.
yeah,
Those
I
are
like those.
those are really yeah, those are really cool. So I might go train there one time because I want to go to all the gyms here. I think it's just something that's really cool to even be able to do. And I where I live, I'm really close to all of them.
Yeah, you don't miss the gym in San Diego though. I'm gonna go down there this week just to get a fucking workout in. There's nothing in Orange County.
Mm, yeah, I miss the gym. I miss the like being able to train with the doors and windows open and it's not fucking hot. It's probably the only place really in the country that you can do that because any of the open door gyms in Texas are god awful. Like I know there's maybe one in Canada I heard that's okay because it doesn't get so hot there, but who wants to go to Canada? So that I really enjoyed. I love the sun hitting you and you have a breeze, so it's just things like that. But I don't miss the people there. There's a lot of like they're not haters because they're not even pro bodybuilders. They're not even open. They're just so in their own world, and they're important at that gym. They're important in the Southern California area, and they're just so like God annoying. You like want them all to do a show, so it'll humble them, and you'll realize like you're actually not good, but they just don't do shows. Or they do, and they're entering the same novice show at a different show every place, so they can technically keep doing novice. So those people, it gets really old, and it's just how it is. Like it's almost like a small town. It's like training at like some gym in the middle of Wisconsin, where the best bodybuilder there thinks he's the shit when he can't even go to another state because he'll get obliterated. So I don't miss the people from that gym. And it's oh my God. I mean, good luck with the parking, bro. That is the
Yeah,
worst.
I know.
That's
I
the
go there
worst
Sunday
part.
mornings. That's the only time I go down there. First thing in the morning.
Yeah, and everybody does legs there on Sunday. It's like a weird thing.
Yeah,
Everyone
I
does legs on
know.
Sunday. Uh-huh. So that's good. As long as you're not doing legs, you'll have the whole gym to yourself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, awesome, man. I appreciate it taking your time. I'll let you go. I'm gonna go eat. You'll get your workout in. We'll link
Yep.
back up soon, man, and I'll reach out to you. I'll shoot you some of this stuff. Probably tomorrow.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, cool. Thanks, man.
Later.